BackstageAxxess.com. We are here in Buffalo at the Town Ballroom with the legendary Dave Mustaine of Megadeth. Dave, how you doing, man?
I'm good.
All right. They're going to be taking the stage very shortly in a couple hours with Testament and Exodus on this very short run that they're doing. And you guys just came out with a studio album that you're touring in support of, Endgame, and also doing the 20-year anniversary of Rust in Peace. So you guys are doing a lot of material, I'm sure. What can the fans expect tonight?
Well, actually, the concert tonight is a little less than an hour and a half. We're doing 3 songs from our catalog before we play Rust in Peace in its entirety. And then after we finish that, then we do another 4 songs before we wrap it up for the night. Because once you go through that whole thing with the performance and the interaction with the audience, you know, you're coming near the end of the show. We wanted to make sure that we also gave a small offering of everything that we have. And having 12 records, if you took one off of every song outside of the 9 on Peace House, Rust in Peace, we'd be playing 20 songs tonight. And, you know, after a while, it just starts to become so cumulative, the songs that you want to play, that you end up playing like 2 hours. I would think before, God, these guys do these 3-hour concerts, and it's like, I mean, I'm not that ostentatious to think that I got 3 hours worth of music. I mean, I know I do, but you know, to put an audience through 3 hours of listening to music, that's a tall order. You know, give them an hour and a half of great stuff and a low ticket price so that they can afford to have some drinks and bring some friends. You know, don't charge $300 for a ticket and expect me to sit there for 3 hours.
Chris Bodrick is your new guitarist, and you know he's on board. He was on Endgame, obviously, your new studio CD. What did he bring to the table? Him coming in, and how did you guys determine like what solos, who was going to do what?
Well, as far as the soloing has always been in Megadeth, my forte is playing rhythm, and I am a lead guitarist by trade. That's what I started with in Metallica. And when I came to Megadeth, when we founded this band, we wanted to have a frontman, so singing wasn't my first choice. I didn't want to be a singer. You know, some people will argue that I still am not, but you know, that's okay, because you know, my voice is identifiable. Me, Axl, Hetfield, we got voices that you hear it, you know it's us. You know, now with all of the growling and grunting and stuff, there's 800,000 bands that sound like Phil, you know, and more power to him and his impact on the music industry. But you know what, I mean, he's the originator. He's the only one that gets away with sounding like that. Everybody else sounds like him. So with Chris coming into the band, you know, he brought a lot of talent. He brought a lot of technique. It was exciting to have him play in the band. And the way that we determine the rhythms and solos, who does what, is that we'll base it on the complexity of the rhythm. If the rhythm is really moving and there's a lot of chord changes and a lot of modality changes, he'll do that. And if it's pretty straightforward within the confines of what I can do as a soloist, then I'll take it. And usually it'll come down to about a 50-50 split. Sometimes I'll have rhythms that are a little bit more complex than I can play over, and I have to kind of study the solo. Other times, for example, with Chris, he'll have rhythms that are very simple, and he's got to kind of dummy down his solo. And it's not that, you know, there's any stupidity to the solos. It's just that sometimes the part calls for just a couple of notes to be held and sustained. It doesn't, you don't need to be burning and doing some fretboard masturbation, because I mean, you know, music is it's very emotional, and not everybody wants to hear a guitar like a chainsaw.
That's true. Well, you guys, Endgame came out fantastic. Like I said, you guys are on tour in support of that, and also Rust in Peace. You guys just shot a new video, The Right to Go Insane, a couple weeks ago. When can fans expect to see that?
I don't know. As far as the editing process is concerned, I'm not involved in that, so I really don't know when the drop date is for that. I know that they supposedly service the single to radio, and the sad thing nowadays is that the music industry is really discombobulated. Back when my career first started, the music record companies and the music industry and the radio stations and cable TV and all that, they worked hand in hand. And now there's just it just seems like, you know, there's no synergy, you know, and for us to be filming a video after the single's already come out, I think is stupid. Right. I think it's the stupidest thing in the world. That's like shutting the gate after the horse is gone.
The music business is not like it was, obviously, even 10 years ago. It's totally different. It's very...
That's the irony of watching all these record companies implode. I'm enjoying watching these record companies eat shit and die. because they've tried to steal from us as musicians for decades, and now they're getting it. And for me, of course, it's affecting me. But you know what? I'm okay. I do enjoy watching the crash.
Well, you're moved into the new millennium, and obviously you guys do a lot of stuff for your fans, and with the Megadeth radio and all sorts of other stuff, and you guys are really in tune of what's going on. I mean, what's your comment about that? Like, you know, how you guys reach out to your fans like no other bands really do.
Well, we just try and include people in what we're doing, because Megadeth music is a little bit more than just humming along to a melody and some simple words. You know, the music is stuff that I feel it's provocative and it's stimulating. I've always tried to use lyrics that, at least once during the record, you will have to look up what the meaning of one of those words will be. You know, anisophobia, for example, is a word that, you know, you're afraid of people gossiping about you, and you know, stuff like that. People don't use that word very often, but I know people had to look that up. Do you excluding what I just said, you probably didn't know what it means. I didn't know what it means. I was just looking it up because the song was about a particular individual, and I wanted to have a line in there that was biting, and that would, you know, pretty much hit the nail on the head without, you know, coming out and saying who it is about and what it's about, because then it makes it something that we can all enjoy. We can listen to the song and say, you know, I'm dedicating something I'm not to you, you puke, you know, and you can laugh about it and kind of walk away and just think like, I just tortured him, you know, that kind of thing. But, you know, with any of the music that we try and write, we've always tried to push the envelope and compare with our previous work. So I listen in my head to the melodies and make sure I don't copy myself. And the one thing that does perplex me is into the lyric part of the song, because you start writing certain things, and you know, there are certain phrases, anecdotes, idioms, cliches, stuff like that works in songs, and I got to remember over 120 songs later, have I ever used that line before? And oh my God, I got to tell you, it is so frustrating when a song comes out and it's released, and then somebody says something on a, you know, one of the bulletin boards at our website, hey, I already said that before. Huh? You know, yeah, you get that. Yeah. Did I say this ever before?